Hi, I'm Lucas Blakeley, F1 Esports driver for McLaren Shadow, and today we're at the wonderful MTC and we're going to be picking out my 3 favourite F1 cars that we can find on the boulevard, so let's go. So at number 3 we have the McLaren MP420, which was the last V10 McLaren that we had before the regulations changed, and in my opinion this is the greatest sounding F1 car in history. I mean, if you listen to onboards of this car, it is mesmerising. Onboards, outboards, it is just, it's beautiful. It's as simple as it's amazing. Driven by Kimi Räikkönen and Juan Pablo Montoya that year, memorable wins such as the Suzuka race where he came from, I believe it was like 17th or something, to win the race with that famous overtake round the outside of, I think it was Fisichella, something like that. And it's amazing to think that this car is actually, I mean, 17 years old. Like it seems like it's still from the future when you look at, you know, the aerodynamic furniture that you see going towards the back of the car. Such an iconic, you know, era of F1, especially with, you know, the V10s and. So at my number 2 is the insanely iconic MP44. It's a car that if you see, you already know what it is. It's just, even to put it number 2, it feels, I mean, if you didn't include it in the top 3, you would be kidding yourself, because it's such a landmark F1 car. I mean, almost all F1 fans will know what this car is. Won 15 out of the 16 races that year. I mean, that is the highest win percentage, you know, ever. Driven by, you know, none other than the great Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost, with such, you know, history and prestige, and you're standing right next to possibly one of the most iconic F1 cars ever, if not the most iconic. It's a car that most drivers say they want to drive, and you can see why. It's so raw. You've obviously got the old school H-pattern gearbox, the roll bar, it's so mechanical in the cockpit as well. I tell you what, your shoulders would be destroyed after driving this for, you know, however many, an hour and a half, 2 hours. You know, and the car's huge, it's wide, the rear tyres are massive. Before the current generation of engines, it was the last time F1 had turbochargers as well. You know, to think that the likes of Senna, you know, were sat in the machine that's right in front of me is quite a crazy thing to even start to imagine in your mind. Like, it's insane. What an honour to even stand next to it in the first place, honestly. So coming in at my number 1 is the McLaren MP420V, and it's possibly the car that actually inspired me to even, you know, go racing in the first place. You know, watching my hero Lewis Hamilton go on to win his first championship at that Brazilian Grand Prix in 2008. The next year I started, you know, doing a little bit of go-karting, kick-started, you know, really like my inspiration to go, to go chase my dreams and to try and, you know, be where I am today, which is very, very crazy to say when you're standing right next to the car. It's such a special car. Visually, it's stunning. I mean, this was probably the most extreme era of, you know, visually anyway, of like the aero. You could really see the amount of detail and intricacy, even though this car's like 14 years old, but it looks like a spaceship. It was the last year we had grooved tyres as well. Still had refuelling back then as well during the races. Such an iconic livery as well. You could always spot it on the track. An absolute masterpiece of a car. That very rainy day in Silverstone 2008, where Lewis, you know, dominated the field in this car. You find yourself struggling for words, you know. It's, yeah, very special. So there you have it, everyone. Those are my 3 favourite F1 cars that I could find on the MTC Boulevard. Let us know down in the comments below what your favourite 3 are, and until next time, have a great day, and I'll see you later.